Hello, Professor Myrick. My name is Kim Bradley, and my older adult oral video presentation is about a 66-year-old woman, African American woman, who happens to be my boyfriend's mother. I chose this woman, who I have called my Shiro, because she had to overcome and adapt to so many of life's situations while still being a beacon of light for her two children. My interviewee went from being in a 4-year marriage, which ended in divorce, to finding herself single with two children. Because of this, my interviewee had to rely on welfare to make ends meet. However, this setback to my interviewee didn't dissuade her. She was able to build upon it, not only to raise her children to be productive and educated adults, but she was also able to go back to college and obtain multiple degrees. Today, I will reveal the story of someone who, in my opinion, truly epitomizes what we can do when we do not quit or surrender. This is her story. The developmental stage of Erickson's theories that I chose to focus on is stage 7, generosity versus stagnation. Adults who are in generosity are more concerned with creating a legacy for future generations and less concerned with their own well-being. Their life trajectories and devotion to others begin with early involvement with others as young people. Generosity comes in different forms, based upon the culture and background of the person. Traditions of sharing religious or cultural wisdoms can have a positive impact on the next generation and beyond. Adults, however, who are in stagnation are only concerned with themselves. This stagnation may not be a choice for some older adults. It could be that they don't have anyone to pass on their values and beliefs and traditions because they didn't have any children of their own, or their family is spread out throughout the country. Some of the important experiences in my interviewee's life that I chose from the chosen developmental stage is one, having to raise two children on her own after a 4-year marriage that ended in divorce. The other would be the fact that she went to 3 colleges and ultimately got her master's degree in library science in order to gain some academic direction while working to support her children. My interviewee originates from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and she moved to Richmond, Virginia to work as a medical researcher for the Philip Morris Company. Some of the difficult challenges and some accomplishments in my interviewee's life related to the chosen developmental stage are the need to utilize the welfare system in order to put food on the table for herself and her children. One of the challenges that my interviewee went through is when her oldest son suffered from a disease called arteriovenous malformation, which is AVM, and he almost died before he had the brain surgery to correct his condition when he was only 9 years old. The survival rate at that time in 1983 was only 3% for children with this condition. And then one of the accomplishments for my interviewee was the fact that she was the first person in her family to obtain a bachelor's degree from West Chester University. So, in describing the psychosocial crisis for my chosen developmental stage, basically I have the crisis experienced by adults in this stage comes when they are unable to provide a foundation for the offspring to build upon. The stress of not having anything to leave for future generations can cause a variety of issues for older adults in this situation. For example, they could suffer from insomnia. They may feel like a failure in the eyes of their children, and this feeling will impede upon their lives from this stage onto the next and beyond. Depending upon how the children develop will determine how the person views their self-worth in this stage. So the psychosocial crisis resolution. My interviewee faced a lot of racial and age discrimination while attending West Chester University and felt that she had to work twice as hard to prove that she was just as good, if not better, than the other students. It was her mission in life to ensure that her children saw her as a positive role model by engaging in educational pursuits that would result in outcomes that allowed for prosperity. The interviewee also wanted to ensure that her children was able to make their own decisions and voice their opinions and was not afraid to speak their minds. The interviewee's age at the time that she was raising her children played an important role in how she faced this responsibility. Exposing her children to the truths in the world and now allowing them to be blinded gave them the foundation to expand their knowledge and engage in educational pursuits themselves. In regards to the oppression from the psychosocial crisis resolution and oppression, my interviewee experienced a lot of daily racial discrimination while working at the Pennsylvania Horse Lab, including finding a stuffed gorilla hung from her desk by a noose in order to intimidate her. Another example of the oppression my interviewee suffered was when she lost her prestigious position at Philip Morris due to downsizing and was forced to sell a lot of her personal possessions in order to keep her house. An example of a biopsychosocial event that inhibited my interviewee's psychosocial resolution was when she wanted to go into the Air Force, and at the time the Air Force was trying to recruit more minorities. So she asked her parents to watch her children while she would attend basic training for 6 months, and they said no. It is in the opinion of my interviewee that if she was able to get this assistance from her family, her struggles would have been minimized or even eliminated. The alternative theory that I chose for my interviewee was Piaget's theory of cognitive development. The schemas that the interviewee was experiencing while raising children was centered on how her parents raised her and her siblings. The example that was set by her father and her mother in a household was that they were sharing the parenting responsibilities. Basically, my interviewee's father worked outside the home and the mother did not. My interviewee's husband's views about marriage were skewed based upon the fact that his mother was forced to provide for 12 children after her husband died. My interviewee's, that all changed for my interviewee, her marriage, when she realized that she and her husband had different ideas about how a marriage should be, and the interviewee was not willing to assimilate into the role of the stay-at-home wife. Raising her children to be productive citizens in society became her goal, teaching them that getting a good education was the way to achieve anything you wanted to do in this world. Some of the limitations that I found in Erikson's theory are that societal norms and expectations about the development processes that should occur at various ages are always changing. You can see an example of this in the traditional activities of marriage and having children, which seem to characterize Erikson's stages of intimacy versus isolation and generosity versus stagnation. Further, different ethnic and cultural groups may hold views about the importance and timing of developmental milestones that are different from Erikson's. Similarity, people may find alternative ways to achieve intimacy or generosity that do not include traditionally accepted activities. And that was found in Rogers, 2016. In conclusion, I want to make sure that you know that my interviewee's children did go on to college and both got bachelor's degrees. One of the children grew up and followed in her mother's footsteps to gain her master's degree in marketing and ultimately started her own business based out of California. Thank you.